Hey there and welcome back to The Sims 3. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of this attempt to fully complete The Sims 3 World Adventures. Last time we left off after taking our first group vacation as William, Yooni and Sanat traveled to Shang Simla, China. Sanat and William have left already, but Yooni is still here after exploring the Dragon Cave. She has also followed up on a vision she had and is currently camping in the front yard of Yit, Shang Simla's special merchant. But after a quick pemmican breakfast, she can gather her tent and get going. Her first destination today will be the adventuring board. She can jog over there to improve her athletics skill to level 4, and then we have her pick up the Confounded Boulder quest. For a change, this quest has nothing to do with the Dragon Cave, but it is one that we absolutely want to complete before returning back home, as it eventually allows us to obtain an extremely useful item. So let us accept and seek out quest giver Tsuyoshi-chan, named after channel member Tsuyoshi, his last name from Patreon supporter Frankie-chan, his in-game brother. Now, in order to learn the ancient art of smashing giant boulders, we first of all need to gain permission from the locals. Now, for a foreign visitor, this would mean chatting up and befriending some of them. Yooni, however, was, not too long ago, a local herself and conveniently still has family in Shang Simla. Her first target, therefore, her sister-in-law, Mixie, who only needs a few seconds to be convinced.
Mobby sorts. Joshin. Market Joshin.
That's one down, 2 more to go, but we'll stick with Mixie for just a few seconds longer in order to get Yooni's social bar moving in the right direction, before we then move on to Mixie's husband and Yooni's brother, Akitora. He too is quickly convinced and will use him for a bit of sparring practice. Let's not forget that Yooni aspires to be a martial arts grandmaster, and her success in tournament matches not only depends on her martial arts skill level, but also on her sparring experience. Not to mention that there is a skill challenge for completing 75 sparring matches. Yooni currently sits at 3, I believe. Now, she wins this one 2-0, defeating her brother and showing who's the dominant family member. After a quick visit to the restroom, then we are scheduling the next tournament match. Yooni's first attempt against Michelle Wong ended in defeat. Let's hope that things go a little smoother this time around. While we wait for Michelle to make it over to the Martial Arts Academy, we can also challenge Mixie to a sparring match, her yellow belt color indicating a skill level of only 2, while Yooni comfortably sits at 8, and she shows off a little with the winning touch here, once again defeating her opponent 2-0. Michelle, meanwhile, has arrived, and the two of them can now get to it. The blue belt indicating a skill level of 7, so 1 below Yooni, who once again puts a little flavor on this final touch of the match, securing her the first tournament victory. We are also looking to build up just a little bit of a reputation with Michelle here. Yooni has the great sense of humor trait, so all related options are working like a charm, and we quickly have the relationship at a point where I think the convince option will be successful. And there we are, 3 locals have been convinced, so our boulder smashing adventure should be good to go. Before we report back to Tsuyoshi though, I think it's best that Yooni has a shower. Then we meet our quest giver on a bridge shortly before midnight. If we were looking for romance, this might not be such a bad situation. The only advances we make, however, are in our quest. Seems like there is still a bit more convincing to do. This time, Shang Simla's special merchant Yit wants to speak to us. No problem, I would say. We've had our dealings with him before. And so the day ends pretty much how it started, on Kuhao's property. Yooni once again putting her humorous side to good use, gaining Kuhao's trust to answer a few questions of his. Right, there we are, but it looks like we are still not done proving ourselves worthy. Before we can finally get to boulder smashing, we need to deliver 3 pieces of lapis to Kuhao. We already have 1 in our inventory, but I don't think we'll go hunting down the remaining 2 today. Instead, after a quick breakfast, we can jog back to base camp, where we then put down our tent and have Yooni go to bed. On the next morning then, after another quick bite to eat, the collecting begins. Lapis is thankfully abundantly available and also not too valuable, so we won't be collecting more than we need for the quest. Yooni also develops the wish to visit the academy, another wish to get pumped now fulfilled as she keeps jogging, and the final gemstone then paired up with another. Obviously we're going to grab both. Very fittingly then, Kuhao currently resides at the academy, fulfilling Yooni's wish to visit it. I'm actually not quite sure what to spend all of her lifetime happiness points on. She should be getting close to 15,000, so if you have any ideas, then let me know in the comments down below. At this point though, we have finally made it to the heart of this quest chain. Inside the Temple of Heaven, we will apparently be able to find Pangu's axe. Before we embark on this next tomb exploration adventure though, we will use Kuhao's role as special merchant and purchase a few more pemmican. The Temple of Heaven is a rather lengthy tomb and we do not want to go hungry. Afterwards, it's a quick shower, a round of meditation to fulfill a wish, and during the following visit to the restroom, the inadvertent breaking of a toilet. Still, Yooni makes it out of the martial arts academy eventually. By jogging a good portion of the way, she also advances her athletics skill to level 5. This is important for a lifetime wish that we want to complete, requiring her to max out both the athletics and martial arts skill. Now, our destination is not actually within the Temple of Heaven itself, but rather in this small side building over here, where some stairs lead into the area below, a giant pile of rocks blocking the way onwards. After clearing it, and also gaining a small boost to the athletics skill, we can then investigate a curious wall panel, revealing a hidden door and fulfilling Yooni's first wish inside this tomb. In the secret chamber behind it, there are 2 treasure chests to be found. The first one here containing a fragment for the plain sarcophagus, the other one meanwhile an ancient coin pile, and this is the first time we collect some of them with the Master Thief's coin in our inventory, which should hopefully boost our yield from this tomb significantly. Now the keystone opening the door on the right here we do not possess, it can only be accessed during another adventure, so instead we go through the door we just cleared. Notice that a giant boulder is blocking one of the paths, so we are left with no other choice but to take the stairs leading down. Here we can then insert the keystone and properly begin our adventure. Now, one thing you will quickly notice is the size of this tomb. The tooltip in the top right corner phrases it well. The Temple of Heaven appears vast and dangerous, although, despite its size, this first room here does not really have all that much to offer. 2 treasure chests, that's all there is. The one in the lower left corner rewards us with dried food. I'm not entirely sure whether or not that's a guaranteed drop. Otherwise, of course, purchasing food beforehand would not be necessary. Approaching the second treasure chest then also reveals more of what lies ahead, and it seems confusing to say the least. On the bright side, we are able to collect a whopping 223 ancient coins, not too shabby at all. Now, our path onwards is clearly marked on the ground, and once again there's not too much of interest on it. A single treasure chest and then a set of stairs leading down. That chest contains a low-value Chinese relic. The stairs, meanwhile, we do not want to interact with just yet. Instead, let us take note of the fact that the mighty Axe of Pangu is right in front of us. Now, unfortunately, a gap that we cannot bridge prevents us from accessing it immediately. You could probably shorten this adventure significantly by using the Xenoport teleportation ability, but where would be the fun in that? So since we're going the proper way, we need to rest and recover a bit, so we meet Yooni again on the following morning. With breakfast in her belly and the tent in her inventory, she can now take the stairs, which lead her to a dive well, no secret doors anywhere in sight. The wish to explore the well is promised right away for some easy lifetime happiness points, and no surprise here, the well reveals a tunnel, as Yooni pops up on the other side in a room with 2 more of these wells. Her first order of business, though, will be inspecting a curious-looking floor tile. This reveals a trap that we can then disarm to complete another wish. In the room behind it, some gemstones lie on the floor, including a rainbow gem worth over 2,000 simoleons. While on her way back through the main chamber, Yooni triggers one of the traps. Thankfully, it only spits out water, and she is soaked already. Deliberately triggering and then crossing the traps is, by the way, the faster way to disarm them. Inspecting each one for manual disarming would take a lot longer. Finally, just in case you were wondering, the other 2 dive wells in the room do not have anything of interest inside of them. No treasure, no hidden switches, no underground tunnels, so exploring them would be a complete waste of time. With 200 more ancient coins and 2 extra gemstones in her inventory, Yooni can then continue. At the end of the room, some stairs are leading up, and the only path she can take from here is right back down. In the next chamber then, more floor traps. Once again, triggering and then crossing them is the fastest way past, but in this case we are going for the disarm anyway, simply because Yooni has a wish to do so. The stairs over here, meanwhile, we will leave be for the moment. Instead, we have to fight our way past a few more traps, and eventually we can make our way up the other set of stairs in the room. At the top then, we can also see why we skipped the previous one. 2 massive boulders block any way onwards, so we follow along this path instead, take another set of stairs down, disarm a trap to gain 300 more lifetime happiness points, and then fiddle around with a hidden switch in the wall. This unlocks a hidden door, a treasure chest in the room behind. Inside of it, a valuable relic of the Zodiac Animals collection, worth roughly 2,000 simoleons, and as you can see, also worth 2,000 lifetime happiness points. Onwards then, we make our way up another set of stairs, and just like that, there we are. The game briefly freezing here for a second is normal. Yooni Aroki has just reached the legendary Axe of Pangu. With it, we can now smash giant boulders and also dispose of any rock rubble instantly. As a result, this is one of the quests you should prioritize. And there we are, Pangu's axe is now in our possession, and don't worry, despite the quest telling us to deliver it, we will be able to keep it. For now though, I think it's time that we smash some boulders, so let's retrace our steps until we can eventually walk up those stairs that we passed earlier. Up here then, let's see the axe in action. And there we go, a giant boulder split into pieces effortlessly. Our reward, a second of the valuable Zodiac Animals relics, and this was not the only boulder in the area. Behind this one then, we can collect more ancient coins. At this point, the number of 73 sounds almost disappointing. There are, however, more pressing issues, and this time they stem from the level design of this tomb, as your Sims will usually experience pathfinding issues when trying to squeeze themselves through that gap between the 2 walls. To solve this issue, you can either straight up cheat or meditate for a few hours. As you can see, we are opting for the latter, but in this particular case I would say a console command is fair game. Xenoport, however, works just as well and allows Yooni to grab all the remaining treasure in the area. Obviously, at this point, food is not quite what we're looking for. The 2 gemstones in the corner here then also not even worth a combined 100 simoleons, so that's a little disappointing as well. There is, however, also a hidden door, this one granting access to a vase, and that one is a little closer to what we're looking for. Closing the door again is then also necessary to avoid any further pathfinding issues, as there is one more hidden entrance to find. This one needs to be manually pushed open though. Behind it, one final treasure chest awaits Yooni. Like I said earlier, the tomb in its entirety is not even close to fully explored at this point, but for this section containing the Axe of Pangu, this is as far as we get. A quick snack and then a round of meditation are necessary to get out of here though. The pathfinding issues unfortunately persist both ways, but a few hours later Yooni can Zeniport again, right to our quest giver's front door. At this point, the game also informs us that our vacation will be over in just one day, a little earlier than expected, but I think this has something to do with the fact that one of the two Sims with the Prepared Traveler lifetime reward left early, and with their departure we also lost the extra travel time. Now, be that as it may, as you can see, the recovery of Pangu's axe is not actually the end of this quest. For its grand finale, we are now tasked with finding a relic at the hot springs. Those are located to the edge of town. Although we won't really have a lot of time to enjoy the place, our object of interest is the giant boulder over here. Yooni is already pretty tired, however, and should rest before exploring the dive well, which will lead her into the tomb, a tomb that is fairly small and won't offer enough space to place the tent. We will only let her sleep for a few hours though, since this is already our last day here in Shang Simla, and we still need to explore an entire tomb. So, let's dive in, swim through the tunnel and emerge in a corridor that is trapped with fire. No problem though, standing on the pressure plate here activates some water traps that will extinguish the flames. Unfortunately, that takes a little while and is the only way to get across here. These traps can sadly not be disarmed. The two rooms on the side, meanwhile, have nothing of interest in them, so once the path is clear, we can immediately head towards the back, grab the ancient coins and a sarcophagus fragment and hop into the next dive well. The tunnel at the end of this one transports Yooni into a very similar looking area. Once again we have fire traps to deal with. This time pulling a statue onto a pressure plate is needed in order to activate the water sprayers. This also brings up a second floor tile to stand on, deactivating the rest of the flames. Before we continue though, let's grab the contents from the chest here, a money bag. Pulling the second statue then reveals a hole in the ground in the room on the opposite side, but first there are more ancient coins in this one. The hole then hiding a secret switch that unlocks a hidden door, fulfilling another wish for Yooni, and allowing her to collect some more treasures. Ancient coins both inside the chest and on the floor, although a disappointingly low number, just 39 coins combined. Either way, that's this area cleared. Let's move on. Another dive well invites Yooni to take a dip, an underground tunnel, no surprise at this point, and neither is yet another corridor full of fire traps. To deactivate these, a statue in the middle of the room needs to be moved. It can be pushed onto 3 separate floor tiles, and we want to start with the one in the middle. This allows Yooni access to the room on the lower left. A pressure plate here activates a water trap to extinguish more flames, and we can also grab a star keystone hidden in the corner. Up next, we want to pull the statue back onto the first pressure plate to access the room on the right. Similar mechanics in this one, stand on the floor tile to spray water on some of the flames. Finally, the statue is pushed onto the tile at the far end to clear a passage through to the 2 remaining rooms. The one on the left offers a pile of ancient coins, as well as a pile of rocks. Those rocks are now cleared instantly thanks to Pangu's axe, revealing a treasure chest with a gemstone inside. With that collected, we can now explore the next dive well, swim through yet another tunnel, and thus fulfill another of Yooni's wishes. This is now the tomb's final area. Clearing the rock rubble here is the only obstacle left in our path. At this point, we can freely loot all 5 treasure chests. Number 1 contains a well fragment. Number 2, located behind a water trap that I completely forgot about, contains a money bag. Another money bag is in the leftmost chest on the other side, while the one in the middle contains the relic we were sent here to collect, alongside a second relic worth 400 simoleons. A vase worth roughly 300 is then found in the last chest, and with that we're done here. The tomb is fully explored, and Yooni earns 1500 lifetime happiness points. Swimming through the dive well's tunnel then brings her back up to the surface. Coincidentally, her brother Akitora and his wife Mixie have decided to visit the hot springs as well, but we will not spend any time with them. Instead, we seek out quest giver Tsuyoshi in the Martial Arts Academy. And here we go, the Axe of Pangu quest line is complete, and Yooni gets to keep the item, as well as 2000 simoleons and 200 ancient coins. Now, there are technically a few more hours left on Yooni's trip, but she's hungry, smelly, and dead tired, so there is really no point in sticking around any longer. Let's end the trip right here now and return to our home in Riverview. William and Sanat, who left the journey earlier, are already here. Now Yooni joins them and immediately heads off to bed. When she left, she woke up quite a bit earlier than she wanted to. And with that, I think we have made some good progress here today and can call it an episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can of course go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or become a channel member here on YouTube or a Patreon supporter. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.